So Ford has dropped the price of their Mach E largely in response to what Tesla is doing with their Model Y. But interestingly, Vinfast has also dropped their prices, and VW said, we're just not even going to participate in all this. So welcome back to All Cars, y'all. I am John, and this has been brewing for a couple of days now. The short answer is that Ford has started dropping the prices on their Mach E by about $600 to about $6,000, depending on the different trims you may select, largely in response to what Tesla has been doing on their Model Y. Now, I did a video about Tesla dropping their prices, and that's largely in response to the federal government's $7,500 give cash back to buyers with the Inflation Reduction Act. But it's more than that. They actually started reducing their prices in China, largely based on the competition from BYD, and in Europe because they're trying to gain or keep a crown in terms of actual sales. Tesla's been on a roll, but they've been able to set prices for whatever they felt like along the way, and finally competition is beginning to pull down those prices a little bit. Now, specifically here in America, you can go watch my other video, they had to get under a certain price limit for the $7,500 tax credits to possibly take effect. So they dropped the prices, and Ford has responded. They've dropped the prices on the Mach E, again, between $600 or $6,000, depending on the actual trim you're going to select. But surprisingly, Vinfast did as well. Now, I've done a whole separate video about Vinfast and their self-inflicted wounds along the way, because they were promising the VF8 with 250 or 280 miles of range, and then they decided to come over here with the City Edition with 179 miles, but promised that they would be able to increase that with updates to the software. And so the good news for Vinfast is they've dropped the price. They've come out with very good lease deals, but also they've managed to increase the range, but it's a little too little, if you know what I mean. So the first news is they have dropped the price, which makes it a little more competitive. They've increased the range from 179 to 207, but that still leaves it dramatically behind what its competitors are actually doing. Considering the Model Y, its price and its range, the Mach E, its price and its range, and both of those are open to potentially a $7,500 federal tax credit. The Vinfast VF8 does not have that, although they're offering an additional $3,000 off on top of that price. But then the range is still not competitive. Their promise of an over-the-air update to address the range issue is really not come to fruition. But through it all, Volkswagen has decided that they're just not going to participate in this price war. And I don't think it's really a price war when you're talking about a $50,000 vehicle. You know, I'm personally somebody who's like, I drive a 7-year-old Honda Accord. I'm not going to buy a $50,000 vehicle. And if I was, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is probably my top choice. The Mach E is competitive. The Model Y is ugly but competitive. Vinfast is not at that range, at that 207 miles range. And the ID4 just is overpriced. But VW has decided they're not going to participate in any kind of price war. They're looking to build their EV marketplace on competitive pricing, on margins. And I think that's a major, major mistake right now. Tesla is already the #1 seller in a couple of different markets. Manufacturers are responding to them, trying to boost their own sales in the face of what Tesla is managing to do. And VW saying, well, here's our product. There's a couple of big problems with it. but we're not lowering our price, that's the wrong answer, in my opinion. So I think that the Ford answer is really strong. I think this is a compelling product that offers a compelling range for a compelling price. It's not quite where I think it should be. That's a personal opinion. But I think that it strengthens their argument, certainly with that $7,500 tax break, relative to, say, the Model Y or other offerings. But that also leaves VinFast and their VF8 kind of out in the cold. They are thousands of dollars more expensive. Their range is substantially less, and those who are like, yeah, but it's a luxury car, I'd rather spend the money for the Tesla at this point. So I appreciate you being here, guys, but I think that VW's response leaves them out in the cold. Let me know what you think below.